it is getting harder for Josh Ockett. We've been posting about this story, how Josh Ockett mocked Michelle Obama, but most of the fans and public figures are saying he's a racist.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Let's be very clear. Strong men, men who are truly role models, don't need to put down women to make themselves feel powerful. People who are truly strong lift others up. People who are truly powerful bring others together.
So in this breaking story, understand what just happened in the UFC cage match last night, which you have to remember. Donald Trump was responsible for who was fighting. He chose Mr. Hockett. We'll take a look at this breaking story at what that man had to say when the match was over. Oh my God, here it is.
Look, I'm trying to be nice to these people. They were lousy presidents. And, this one coming is the worst. She makes Obama look like forget it.
Those extreme views were not in my White House. I wasn't embracing them. I wasn't empowering them. I wasn't putting the weight of the United States government behind extremist views. And that is when we have the weight of the United States government behind extremist views, we've got a problem.
Obama got a prize. He didn't even know what he got. He got elected, and they gave it to Obama for doing absolutely nothing but destroying our country. No, he was not a good president. The worst president was Sleepy Joe Biden, but Obama was not a good president. How many months after he won the election, then they gave him the Peace Prize, right?
It was right after he was elected.
My election was a much more important election.
Dana White said that what he did.
When Josh Hockett says what he says about Mrs. Obama on the White House lawn, right, a place where she represented our country with grace, right? Like you said, regardless of politics, the way that those two humans conducted themselves while they were representing our country was something that we could be proud of, at least in my opinion. When he says that, Dana, is there a way that Daniel or Joe or John can be like, hey, look, that doesn't represent what we all feel? Or even you afterwards, is there a way that you guys can come out and say that's his freedom of speech? That's something that us as the UFC, we totally disagree with.
Well, if you look leading into that show, everybody was talking about, you got the people that are always going to say, oh, this is a political, this is a MAGA party. This is, the president's, he's throwing his own birthday party and all this bullshit. It's the 250th birthday of America. And to have the opportunity to be able to celebrate that at the White House the way we did, and I said leading up to that fight, if you're far left, if you're far right, if you're right down the middle, this show is for everybody that is an American. We're going to talk about the history of America, and it's at the White House and all this stuff. And obviously, Barack and Michelle Obama are public figures. And when you're a public figure, you guys know, I'm sure you guys deal with your own level of bullshit and people talking. It's part of the gig. But what I don't like, first of all, former First Lady of the United States, number one. Number two, a wife, a mother. It's just, it's fucking gross, right?
And he said he won't apologize to Michelle, that it was just a joke.
I agree. You will never see me apologize for anything that I do. And I really think that's real, coward shit when you talk a certain way and then you want to apologize to everyone or even the opponent. My opponents have a chance to get my respect when they fight me. And so Even after the Curtis Blades fight, you didn't see me go and
4 female boxers joined forces to demand that Josh Hokett be removed from combat sports. First, Claressa Shields. As a black woman, Shields said Hokett's comments were insulting and based on harmful stereotypes about black women. She posted a 10-minute video criticizing him and urged UFC President Dana White to take action. Second, Katie Taylor. Taylor believes combat sports should be built on respect. She said making such offensive comments at the White House hurt the image of the sport. She called for a blacklist to make sure Hokett never gets a chance to enter professional boxing. Third, Amanda Serrano. Serrano knows how hard women have worked to earn respect in combat sports. She said Hokett should face serious punishment for repeatedly targeting black women. She also wanted future TV contracts to include anti-discrimination clauses to prevent similar incidents. Fourth, Alicia Baumgardner. The current unified women's super featherweight champion was the first to speak out. She directly tagged UFC executives on social media and condemned what she described as Hokett's clownish behavior. She said she could not tolerate the malicious demeaning of female athletes and public figures through sexist and racist attacks that strip them of their dignity. Do you think the UFC will eventually give in to the pressure and hand Hokett a lifetime ban?
Sarah, why is it so hard for Trump to say that this was wrong when it was obviously offensive and wrong, and people who may share his politics are very clearly saying such?
I think expecting Trump to say or do the right thing is useless and disappointing. Look, this is the guy who posted a racist meme of the Obamas depicted as monkeys. This is a guy who posts memes depicting himself as Jesus Christ. There's no decency or decorum in this White House. And when the White House was asked for comment, they also praised the performer, praised the performance of the fighter. They didn't comment on it. They had every opportunity to condemn it. And yes, it's nice hearing folks like Dave Portnoy and Dana White come out and denounce this attack. But it shouldn't take a pressure campaign from people on the right to get the president to do the right thing. You should immediately condemn something like this. Something really interesting, though, is that we have seen Trump willing to condemn conspiracy theories like this. He did it with President Macron of France and his first lady, his wife, when she faced similar accusations of being a man. And Candace Owens saying it. President Trump came out and said that that wasn't true and condemned it. But then he can't do the same thing for Michelle Obama. Makes you wonder what's the difference between those two women in his eyes. Think that it is really pathetic of this administration, and it's really pathetic of that White House spokesperson. As a former deputy press secretary myself, I would be embarrassed to have my name on a remark like that, praising the performance of the fighter. I mean, come on, it's pathetic. She has not been in office, or her husband has not been in office, and she has not been the first lady for nearly a decade, and yet she continues to live rent-free in these losers' heads.
Michelle Obama will always be a threat to white supremacy. Do you know what white supremacists hate more than a successful black man? They have a strong hate for successful black women, especially an Ivy League educated, successful black woman that is standing in all her grace, standing in all her glory, standing in all her excellence. The fact that she was able to beat the odds intentionally set against her to become the woman that she is today, she will always be a threat to America. That is why they are always coming for her looks. And it's so unfortunate that just because this lady's husband was the first black president of America over 10 years ago, we're talking 3 terms ago. 3 terms ago, this lady, she minds her business. She does not bother anybody. She does her thing, her books, her podcast, literally so graceful, so respectful, just classy. Trump can't relate. And the fact that she, specifically her, not even her husband, she is always at the forefront of these people's minds, because how dare she? How dare she beat the odds, and how dare she be successful? She is a black woman. She was only meant to be a nanny, a caretaker, and a baby mule. That is how they see black women. They have never humanized black women in America. That is why you always say, that's why we always see that they say it's the white man, it's the white woman, then it's the black man, and then it's the black woman. And the black woman is only meant to carry the burden of the rest of the group. How dare a black woman break away from that and make something of herself and do it gracefully? That is why they're upset, and that is
one of the reasons why a lot of people thought that having a UFC fight at the White House was in poor taste. And so that that's already the narrative going into this thing. You have someone then say something that's horrible at the White House, right, about a former first lady. And these people in the White House, Stephen Chung, the president, nobody has the guts or the decency to say, that's inappropriate, it shouldn't have been said, it's wrong. Why?
Yeah, I would do that. I would say we don't endorse these comments.
But why won't they?
I don't know. I haven't really talked to them about it. I mean,
you talked to the president on Sunday.
My assumption is, Sunday morning. My assumption is that they get asked to condemn things all the time. Everybody, everywhere that says something, they're constantly being asked to condemn things. And my guess is they just sort of have a policy not
Aren't
to
there
do
some things that they should condemn?
This is a pretty easy one. This is the former first
I don't get
lady.
it. Like, I don't get it. The idea that they always have to condemn things is not an excuse for not condemning things that should be condemned.
He can't condemn it. He can't condemn it because he too has engaged in conspiracy theories against Michelle Obama. Well, in December, he reposted a meme about her having snuck into the Oval Office and used Joe Biden's auto pen to pardon people. Donald Trump reposted that. In February, he reposted another smear of her that said she was an anti-white racist. And Don Jr. himself, 2 years ago on Trans Visibility Day, posted this very same meme that this guy expressed the other night, that Michelle Obama was trans. And he did not condemn it then, so he cannot condemn it now.
So
he is involved in it.
They believe that this is something that's near and dear to the hearts of their base, and so they coddle it.
I think
is that what's going on?
It's bad. The guy is disgrace to the society. What he did, it was bad. It was insane. Mocking.
The issue for him is, what do you say? He could be a $3 or $4 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. If you didn't do these wild antics, could be a $6, $7 million a year through endorsements. Nobody's endorsing the guy that says Michelle Obama's a man, whether they agree with it or not. They want no part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They want no part of it. All these big sponsors, Monster, Dodge, they're not touching it, dude. Yeah. And now you're there. Be yourself. You can get more endorsement money. They have no choice but to give you big fights.
Mm-hmm.
It got you here, dude. I'm with it. You beat the system. But now we can see the real Josh. Great athlete, great fighter, good mindset, self-belief like a mother trucker. Be that guy.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think he painted himself too far into the corner now, especially when it comes to corporate sponsors and all that?
The Michelle Obama thing hurt him.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt him for a long time.
And this is what JD responded when they asked him about how he thinks about Josh Ockett saying Michelle.
When he said Michelle Obama is a man. Which one was more shocking?
Definitely the armbar part. Man, I work in politics. People say crazy stuff all the time.
Well, he says that every fight.
Does he?
Yeah. He said that the last time I interviewed him.
Oh, man.
He's like a pro wrestling character. Like
people lost their minds about it.
I know.
Lost their minds about it. To the point where, again, I had The View either the next day or the day after to sort of promote this book.
That must be fun.
It was crazy. It was harder than anything I've done in politics. But the to the point where all of my comms people, the thing they were most worried about was they're going to ask you about Michelle Obama being called a man. What are you going to say about it? And I was like, what, an amped up fighter told a joke after a fight, said something after a fight, and that's actually national news. I'm still surprised. I've been in politics now for 3 or 4 years. I'm still shocked at the shit that people get really fired up about.
Well, I kind of understand it because it's at the White House. First of all, a cage fight at the White House is crazy already. I mean, if he said Michelle Obama's a man at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, it's like, okay.
It's less of a story.
So last night at the White House, a UFC fighter named Josh Hockett won his fight, grabbed the mic, and said,
Michelle Obama is a man! Am I right, America?
At the White House, on the South Lawn, in front of the president. That is what he chose to say. Oh, and Josh Hockett is half Mexican, by the way. Because some people of color have been sold a lie that if you perform hatred towards black people loud enough, white supremacy will let them in. It won't. It never has. They just use those folks. They are a prop. You are useful until you aren't. But surprised about what went down? Yeah, nah, I'm not surprised at all. Their leader set the blueprint years ago. Name calling, degrading black people publicly, attacking women on top of that. Josh Hawkhead didn't create this culture. He just followed it. And calling black women men, that's not new either. This country has a long history of stripping black women of our femininity and of our humanity on the auction block, in the courts, in the headlines. It is a pattern. This is not a moment. But let's talk about who they chose to come for. Michelle Obama, Princeton undergraduate degree, Harvard Law, former hospital executive, New York Times best-selling author multiple times, the most admired woman in the world, multiple years in a row. Campaigned across this country and moved millions, spoke at 4 Democratic National Conventions, married to a 2-term president of the United States, a woman so powerful, so poised, so undeniable that a man at the highest moment of his raggedy career could not stop thinking about her. They never seem to be able to, and they know it. That's exactly why they do it. Because here is what this moment continues to expose. Again, he's at the White House. The president is in the front row. He just won the match. And the thing that comes out of his mouth is about a black woman who wasn't there, said nothing to him, and has never been in his orbit. That is not confidence. That is obsession. We live in their heads rent-free, penthouse suite. They think about us, mock us, copy us, fear us, legislate against us, and still can't quit us. A bully cannot feel strong without somebody to bully. Remove blackness from the equation. What is that culture even for? And calling black women, particularly dark-skinned black women, men specifically, has its roots. They have spent centuries trying to defeminize us while coveting our bodies, our curves, our features. Enslaved African women were raped by the very ancestors of the men who now call us masculine. They built beauty standards off of us and then told us we weren't beautiful. That's not an insult. That's a confession. Their obsession with us is a confession, and it would be sad if it weren't so exhausting. Because here's the truth. Michelle Obama woke up this morning completely unbothered. She doesn't know his name. She doesn't need to. We are on their minds. They have never been on ours.
Do you feel like you have put out the blueprint, say, outlandish things and get rewarded? And more people should do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's the don't hate the player, hate the game, and that's the game we're playing nowadays. And so we're playing a numbers game, and I'm going to win them every single time. And so that's how I look at it, and it is what it is. I don't know. That's, like I said, don't hate the player, hate the game, and I think that's where the game's at now. And you kind of see that with the streamers, and maybe you even see it as well with, I know you pay attention to the YouTube numbers, and you gotta. That's just the, I don't know, that's the business you chose to be in. Everyone's trying to get numbers and views, and so whatever brings the most eyes to my fight, that's what I'm gonna do.
Can we all agree what Josh Hokich said about Michelle Obama on the White House lawn, the former First Lady of the United States, was incredibly disrespectful? But on the other hand, it was hilarious. It was so unexpected. And finally, someone is bringing light to the heavyweight division.
Down in the comment, do you think this guy is a racist? Or he wanted a 30 minutes of fame? A 30 seconds of fame. Tell me what you think down in the comment. Watch this.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Black.